Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Killer Collab Podcasts. As always, my name is Tone Deaf in Florida, Tony D. As always, I am joined with Chris Lato from Reaper Films.
How's everybody doing?
Hey, Chris, I think we should do this like at noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon so I can actually, sleep in, have a clear mind,
I don't think so.
No?
I just want to get in and get it over with.
Yeah, but...
I'm a busy man.
Busy man, you do nothing. Nothing all day. Oh, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest joining us this morning, Tanya Christiansen. How are we doing today?
Hi, good morning. I'm good.
Good.
It is early.
A little, yeah, it's a little bit. I'm still getting the crust out of my eye.
I know.
I still haven't even
a lot of concealer.
Mm-hmm. I need to definitely use that. My black circles on this camera is not doing me any wonders.
Yeah.
Oh, where are you hail from? Where do you live now?
I live in Sarasota.
Sarasota,
Florida. Yeah.
I've been in Sarasota many a time. It's only about an hour and hour and a half.
You go to the Skyways.
Yeah.
It's not far.
Just right down the street.
Yeah,
so
right down the street. Well, in Florida, an hour drive is like nothing. But you go. I grew up in New Jersey, and an hour drive is like
across the whole state.
Yeah, across the whole state. Then traffic bumper to bumper, because that's the most densely populated state in the entire country. So just driving an hour is like 20 miles. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
So real quick.
Yeah.
So I've made a bunch of movies. I've probably worked with God.
You work with God? Holy shit!
Oh no, not yet. But probably over 400 actors, and Tanya Christiansen is number one, my favorite. I've ever worked with, and I'm not just saying that because she's standing right here, but
you say that to me all the time, Chris.
Number one.
That's so sweet.
She is like amazing on set. She's a great actress.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's beautiful.
Yes.
She never complained. I mean, we did some pretty messed up stuff to her on set.
I mean, I don't know what that says for you.
She never complained one time. She always was prepared, came on set, did her best, and no matter what the role was, and always put forth 1,000%. And she's just the best. So if anybody needs an actress, she's definitely top on the list.
Look at that endorsement right there.
I know, that's sweet. And actually, I feel the same way. Chris is very professional as well. I've had the great opportunity to work with a lot of directors, non-union projects, union projects, film, television, and Chris is great as well. So I have only the best things to say. Also, professional, and when you show up on set, it's not, what you're getting. Right. There are no surprises, there are no outbursts, and it's always been a professional set whenever I've worked with Chris, and we've done a couple of things together.
Yeah, she unfortunately she's only been in two of my projects, right?
A couple. I think so.
I think that was it. Mm-hmm. But in Rough Cut, I think that's one of my better movies. Like, we had no money on that movie. I think we made that movie for like under $500. Like, it's amazing.
Wow.
That it even saw the light of day. And we had some post-production problems. Like, the movie was way too long, and I kind of sat on it for a little while, and then just one day I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go through this damn movie. I'm going to cut out a bunch of stuff, get it down to an hour and a half. Have you ever seen the hour and a half version? I know you saw the one at the theater, right? And it was...
Well, and sometimes you need that director's cut, because I think if you have actors that are doing it for free, right? Or doing it for experience, I think... I love that you do that. I love that you give us the 5-hour movie, the director's cut, because I think if you put your time into it and you go and you act or you work on it on the crew, I think it's nice to see your work. But when it does come to getting it out there or selling it, we do have to unfortunately trim the fat a little bit. You got to trim it up just to make it marketable. But I love that you gave everyone their opportunity to show their work, whether it was the lighting person, hair and makeup. I mean, we want to see what we did, right? So I really appreciate that.
And the problem with that movie was, other than you and Mike Defoe, everybody else was a one-day role. They had one scene.
Yeah.
And so if we cut that scene, that person was cut out of the entire movie. And I hated
that's right.
I hated to do that because we didn't pay any of the actors, none of the crew, nobody got paid on that movie at all. And for someone to come out, dedicate their time, they're passionate about acting. Obviously, if they're coming out to act on a movie with no money, trying to get experience, build their resumes, and then having to cut the person out it's just like
it's hard.
It's very deflating for myself because I know that this person came out for our movie to dedicated all their time, and for them to end up on the cutting room floor is just heartbreaking.
It is hard.
But
we
had to do it.
Believe it.
And I got that movie from, I think it was 2 hours and 15 minutes down to, I think it's 1 hour and 30 now. And
I remember walking in and auditioning for you for that movie.
I remember too. Yeah, it was you and you
and Mike.
And you guys came in as a group because you were on Attorney at Low.
We did. I followed Mike. He said, he goes, I really want you to audition for this part. My next movie is he told me a little bit about this movie, and I said, because you would play my ex-wife or my estranged wife, and he said, just kind of follow me to the audition. And I think on the way there, I was putting the lines in my head, and then we just kind of, but I do remember driving there, putting the lines in my head, and then we just kind of improv'd a little bit, and you were just sitting there going, what was that? And then I got a call, I think, on the way home, and you said it was between me and a couple other people, and you just said, let's just go for it.
You just stood out. I mean, you just stood out from everybody, and I don't know. It was funny. I was talking to Sean Donahue on the way. He actually said to say hi to you.
Hello, Sean.
Right before Rough Cut, we did the Housewife Slasher, and I was telling him, I was like, man, I wish we knew Tanya before we made Housewife Slasher, because you would have been like perfect for that movie. Like, it was like you are a dead ringer for that movie. Like, it would have been great having you on, and it probably would have taken it to another level. But
thank you.
But Rough Cut, I mean, we tried to raise money and just couldn't, and it was just one of those movies that just got lost in the shuffle. Didn't sell very many of them. Like, it just was one of those movies, and it's sad because your performance in that is amazing. Like, we have you have two of my favorite kill scenes of all the people I've killed. You got two of the best ones.
That was intense. That's when I came home with the goose egg.
Oh my god, it was crazy.
So from being choked, I think, all day.
So the lead actor is she comes to visit him at the end of the movie, and they're just like nasty to each other the whole movie.
I'm the worst.
And so Mike brings her into the back room, like basically his kill room, and he starts choking her and like strangles her, and she like goes unconscious, and then he resuscitates her, and then chokes her
to do it again
and resuscitate. Like, he did it like 3 times and resuscitate her. And I'm just watching this, and I'm like, this is freaking crazy. Like, I can't believe that she is actually doing this. Like, it was insane. I mean, she had the veins popping out of her head and the crazy eyes and like everything, and it was just phenomenal.
I do. I remember I made one mistake. When my last death, the 3rd or 4th death, I died with my eyes closed, and you were like, Tanya, you gotta die with your eyes open. So I was like, okay, I'll do it again. I didn't know. Who knew? I mean, okay. So we did it again, and then I died with my eyes open, and then just water just drained out of them. Because the last thing I wanted to do was blink and have to do it again. That was memorable. Crazy. That was a good one.
And then when she's dead, he cuts her breast implants out. That's right. And here's the backstory to that. So when I was married, this was 12, 13 years ago, I guess. My ex-wife, she wanted breast implants, and so I ended up getting them for her. And I told her, I said, if you ever leave me, I'm going to cut them out and take them back. And that's how that made it into the movie.
Hey, they're expensive.
They're not cheap. Sure.
I could buy a car with that.
That was my.
We had to pretend. I know that was part of it, and they were like, "I don't know if she's going to work." But we did. We made it work. But there's not a lot. There's not a lot there.
There's a couple scenes where they're like, I mean, they're out. Like, you see them.
Well, you do what you do.
You did a great job.
Erin Brockovich, Julia Roberts, she was like, it's a lot of duct tape and a lot of. Next thing you know.
Right.
Oh yeah. I don't know anything about that.
I just appreciate, I appreciate having you on set with us, and I hope we get to work together again someday.
Yeah, I bet we will. We have a lot of years, a lot of runway left in front of us. I hope so, anyway.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things from this young man behind me, and also Joe Davison, who's pretty much praised you as well. So I was very excited to meet you. I was very excited to meet you.
Thank you very much, and I love Joe. We've also worked on a couple of projects together. Always his, because he's so creative. I'm sad he's not here today, but he's a great creative person. He's really smart. I try to surround myself with go-getters. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when I will do a project and we work so hard on it, and then I can tell that the writer or the director, they're already working on their next 3 projects. I'm like, let's turn in and finish this one and let's get see it to fruition. And everyone's done that. Like, they write it, they shoot it, they direct it, they cast it, and then they edit it, and the next thing you know, it's out there, whether it's on YouTube or just getting it out there. And that's what everyone's done. Whether it makes it or not, but at least you see your project through. As far as maybe it'll never go anywhere, maybe it will, but at least you follow through with it, and that's who I like to surround myself.
I feel the same.
With that type of people.
There's a lot of filmmakers out there that'll make half a movie and never finished,
and then they get bored. It's like they have ADD and they want to go to the next project.
It's so hard to make a movie. It's so hard to make a movie. Like, it's we say it all the time on the show that it's a miracle. Every movie, whether you got $1,000 or $500 million, is a miracle to make. It
is a miracle. It is.
So there's so many moving parts. There's this, like, you have to stay motivated to do it. A lot of times you have a lot of people involved, so making sure everyone stays on task, and just
it's long, and the next thing you know, one of the actors will take off and move, or or whatever. Get a life, get a family, get a this, get a that, and it's just like with long film schedules, that you'll run into that as well. Like, if you're not already, like, a lot of reshoots too. Reshoots are terrible because you have to plan it so far ahead, because a lot of people are booked. A lot of people book their schedule. A lot of people have booked other jobs, other gigs. The director is probably working on another script for another movie. So if you have to do reshoots from either the director or the writer or the producer, with a lot of hands in the pot, like, okay, we're going to redo this. Well, we got to wait like a month before we can get back to put the crew back together. And you have to get everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So it's not just the actor; it's everybody. It's the guy that the lighting, the sound, for this, for that. It is a miracle. You're right.
Absolutely.
It's a big miracle.
Absolutely.
To see it from start to finish.
There's so many things have to align. The stars have to align. The editing process has to be seamless. So, like, the whole vision's got to be there, because how many times do you have to go in the editing room and just change something because of, like, how many times?
Or you do ADR.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was in the ADR room. That's true.
Yeah.
So you've been doing a lot of stuff. I can't turn the TV on without seeing your face. It's like, holy shit, Tanya! Holy shit, Tanya! Every time I see you, I say that. It's funny. But I saw you in oh my God, I'm getting old, Tanya. I can't remember stuff.
I can't remember either. I'd help you out, but I can't remember either. What was it? Was it television, or?
I can't ever remember the name of this movie for some reason.
Give me the plot.
So what were you the reporter, and
was it The Hate You Give?
The Hate You Give. Yes, that was a great movie.
I was a reporter in that.
Yeah, that was an awesome movie.
Well, that was amazing.
And I didn't even know you were in it, and I saw, I was watching the movie, and I'm like, holy crap! Or I said, holy shit, there's Tanya. And this is
I know
so
a lot
cool
of
to me
people do that.
It's so cool that I see people that are, that I've worked with in the past, and they're doing bigger stuff, and it's so great to see that.
Thank you.
And I see you doing a bunch of commercials and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I try to stay busy. I try not to really say no to any genre, like no to commercials or no to TV, only film. I like to keep it diverse. I think it keeps things fresh. And once you start saying no to things, then you have no choice but to say no to things because no one calls anymore. That's your reputation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I try to say that to younger people, like newer actors. I mean,
if you're thinking it, don't say it.
Yeah, I mean, I was casting a movie and I had people turning down lead roles, and I'm like, I'd never had people turn down anything before, and I was just kind of like, okay, that's weird. Like, why would you be an up and coming actor and turn down a lead? I don't care what the movie is. I always tell them, take anything you can get. And once you build your resume and get on set experience, then move on and try to get the bigger stuff.
You can say I've done that. Like maybe if something isn't your style, you can say no. I've done it, but thank you, and be appreciative. But I do agree with you. I think that especially if you think you want to get into this field, maybe if you are in this field and you just need more credits, maybe if you live in an area where there aren't any classes. I mean, I'm in Sarasota, so to take a really good solid class, I need to get in the car and go to Tampa every night, right?
Yeah.
So you can use student films, independent films, no budget films, almost as your classroom, and that's where you can. You still need to be prepared, hands down. But that's almost where you can make a mistake,
right?
And it's not a big studio thing, but you can go and you can play and you can explore and experiment. You and the director together. It's like a little dance, and So anyway, I try to. If I get called for voiceover work or an industrial hosting, I'm like, I'm in. If I'm available, I'm in.
Sure. Yeah.
I also have to. I mean, this is all I do, so I do keep my options open. It's not like I do real estate on the side or I have another job. This is it.
Right. Yeah.
So, I do I do hosting. I do commercials. A lot of voiceover work in my closet. It's carpeted and all the clothes, work as an insulation. But I don't. I mean, I get turning something down if you don't have the time or whatever. But if you are, especially if you're new and you need experience, use it as your classroom and get that experience. And you're going to meet a lot of new people too. Like I met you.
Yeah.
It's just amazing at the amount of people. I'm still in touch with, Mike Defoe. We kind of message each other every now and then during his birthday or something. And Aaron Nelson. That was in that movie as well. So I made a lot of friends throughout the years on these great independent projects that I would have never, ever, ever met. Yeah. And they'll be my friends for life,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And then here's another one. I had two girls that we had cast for a movie, and they were so excited about the movie. And then a couple days later, they messaged me and said their agent told them that they shouldn't do this movie. It's just like... I don't know. It was just funny to me that an agent would tell them not to take work.
The only thing I can think would be because
these were like paid roles. I mean, they weren't, they were paid roles. So I just didn't understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
sometimes I wonder if that's an excuse or I don't know. Right. I don't know what to say about that one.
Yeah, but there's a trend on Facebook now where I'm in all the like actor groups and filmmaking groups and all this stuff, and someone will post, hey, we're casting or we need a crew for this movie, and they list all the parts available and what the pay rate is and everything, and all these people chime in, hell, that rate is too low, and I'd come up from Fort Lauderdale, but I need more money than that, and I'm just like, I saw one the other day and I got irritated and I commented on it. I'm like, if you don't want to work on the movie, don't.
Move on.
Like, why do you need to comment on this person's trying to make something and, put a crew together, a cast together, and you guys are like naysaying this person because, here's the thing, like when you're a filmmaker starting out, you don't have any money. I don't care who you are. Like nobody's going to give you $50,000 when you've never made anything before. Like nobody's going to do it. So you obviously don't have any money because you're young and you are trying to make a movie and you probably don't have a very good job at this point. So you try to make it for as much as you can, and you're going to try to find people that, I call them passion projects, because the people that are passionate about being an actor or being a DP or a director or whatever, those are the people that are going to work on the movie. And, people are just like, hammering this guy about, I need more money and all this. And I'm just like, I don't understand like what bashing another person is doing for you, but making you look like an asshole. And, you know, so now I see these people and I'm like, all right, I'll never work with this person, this person, this person, this person. You know?
I take note. I know. I always think, like I said, if you're thinking it, just don't say it. Move on.
Exactly.
You know, whenever I've done stuff in the past that may have not been paid or something, I mean, I know what I'm getting into. It's not like I'm here for my paycheck and you said, I'm sorry, you misunderstood. I mean, if I ever worked on something that was non-paid, I knew what I was getting into. Like, so I don't understand that either. If it's not your cup of tea, scroll on, move on. It. Someone else will really appreciate it. They'll appreciate the work. They'll appreciate the experience and the knowledge, and let that person have their day. Yeah, you know, that's their day and that's their time and they're excited. So let them have that. And if you need gas and hotel and mileage and a paycheck, I get it. I mean, I do, but this one isn't for you. So it's called just
move on.
Moving on.
Yeah, Chris and I are big advocates, and whenever you get on set, or any way, in any capacity you can get on set, whether it's acting, lighting, sound, if you can get on a set, get on a set. Like, whether it's paid, non-paid, if it's just for experience, if it's just to get your name on a, you know, on a reel, whatever it is, get on the set, learn some experience, and you know, and you get recognized by other people, local people, that, you know, maybe that director like the way you worked, so we recommend you to another director to get another, and then you go into a paid gig.
That's where it starts.
Or you know, you got to get the ball rolling.
That's how it starts.
Right. If someone sees you on screen in this little movie, and they're like, "Oh wow, this guy's really standing out. I'm going to put him in my movie that's got a huge budget." You know, and that's how it works.
That's how it works.
And all the filmmakers know each other too, so it's like, you know, if anybody ever
it's a small world.
Yeah. And we all know each other, and we all talk, and, you know, this guy's awesome, this guy's not so great, and, you know, we talk, and that's just a good way to build a reputation like yourself is, you know, just being awesome on set, you know, committing something, following it through, always being prepared. You know, like I said, you've just been amazing to work with.
You always have to be prepared. Whether you're not getting paid or you're getting paid a big check, that doesn't matter. If you make a commitment to someone's project, that's how I am just as a professional. I mean, if I'm going to commit to you, I'm committing to you. There is no way I would give any lower scale paid job less. That's just unprofessional. And that is, if you're in it for the money, they say you're in it for the wrong reasons, because you just have to be passionate about it. And going back to what you were saying, I'm down in Sarasota, so there's the Ringling School, and they produce film after film after film. And I hear so many times, what can I do to get in or break into this industry? And I always just say, if you can't get to a class, get into it, you know, audition for a Ringling film. And they've got like professional even auditions. So for someone that's like, I don't even know what a slate means. I mean, that's the very beginning. So you learn that stuff. You know, there's the art to auditioning. That's the worst part. I'm like, if you just give me the part, I promise I'll deliver. It's that audition that's like, because you're staring into nothing. Like you have a blank wall, and you can't look to the camera, and you're looking into space, and you're getting emotional.
Or it's just a bright light.
It's or it's all these lights, and you keep your eyes open. You have to be scared or sad or tender, and auditioning is so stinking hard. So the more you can get in front of people and just audition, even if you don't get the part, audition. Oh yeah. Because it's a whole art in and of itself.
You're gonna hear 10 no's before you get a yes. So
it used to be 10. I think it's more than 10 now.
Well, I haven't been on an audition in a while, so
it's like the 10,000 no's. I think there's a podcast called 10,000 No's.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like, I don't hope it's not 10,000, but it's hard.
Oh yeah,
it's hard.
Oh yeah. Everyone wants to be an actor, but then no one wants to actually do the work. So it's really weird.
That's right.
I know we always say that. We're like, hey, I'm working on a movie, and then you're like, oh wait, I actually have to like go to the set and like
learn my lines. I have to learn my lines. Wait a minute, what? I wasn't told it was supposed to do this.
You can't drink the night before; you'll be all puffy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just the little things.
Oh yeah. So what do you have any projects in the works now? Pre-production, production, or do you have any current things that I see on your IMDb? What's the body sculptor? What's that?
Oh, now, that title would interest you, wouldn't it?
Well, 2022. I was looking at 2022.
Okay, so
legacies, but that sounds good. I was going to ask about legacies, about the 2 episodes of legacies, but
so fun.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Good. I'm sorry.
No, I was like, I've heard good things about their set, especially coming from the originals and then going into legacies. And like, I've always seen behind the scenes stuff where it's a lot of fun and a lot of people are just like family on those sets. So it's like,
okay.
Yeah. So
legacies, legacies is amazing.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to get a guest star role. I get confused with time now with COVID and we lost a year, but I think it was I'm not confused, but a couple of years ago. And I played the mother of a girl that died and she was bitten by a radioactive spider. And so I kind of, played her mother. And I thought that was, one and done. We're good. That was great. It was great. Then a year and a half later or 2 years later, they called me back. Same role, but like they didn't have to bring me back, and that goes back to just making a good impression on set. They had another part, and they said, "Well, let's bring in, Vera Lillian. That was my character's name, and we'll change her occupation and just, let her work for a day." And if you ever got the opportunity to audition for the show, audition, and I pray that you'll get it because it is. They treat you like a king. I had to race back because I had some stuff I was doing for HSN, and they got me my own personal car and raced me to the airport so I could make my shows in time for that. I mean, they're just
like I said, I heard a lot of great things on those sets. I heard a lot of good things.
And it's so cool. Like you go into this it's like an airport hangar. It's just a big long studio, and then you go inside, and the sets are individualized, built within each other. Oh my gosh! And then the costume room is the size of almost like a department store. If they ever call me back, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll be back. Season 4, I'll be back.
Oh yeah.
They can bring Vera back all day long, but
I don't know the show. What is the show?
It's the original spinoff. It's basically based on Klaus's daughter who goes to university. I don't know. Basically,
it's a boarding school.
Yeah.
It's the legacies. So they are the legacies, the children of the original, the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah. Well, the Vampire Diaries, and then the originals was a spinoff of the Vampire Diaries, and then this is a spinoff of the originals, and the originals.
All of it.
Like I was big on the originals, and then like Vampire Diaries, it was too dramatic for me. But the originals was a little bit more masculine, a little bit more dark, a lot more dark. So I was more into that. But at the spoilers, Klaus and his brother, I can't remember his name, but their last name is Michelson. They die at the end of the show, and then Legacies kicks off after that with the daughter. Well, the mom already died. She was a werewolf.
Aren't they looking for her? I think they're always out looking for the mother somewhere.
Yeah, well, she keeps getting kidnapped. She keeps getting kidnapped.
That's what it is.
Is this like a CW show?
Yes.
Or,
yes.
okay.
Yes. It was a CW show.
That's exactly it. It's great. Everyone's great.
If you get a chance, watch the originals from beginning. I think there was 7 or 8 seasons, but it's like literally you want to be excited for the next episode. Like I literally binge watched like them multiple times. Like it's really good, and the legacy is pretty much the same. The younger actors.
It's a little younger.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's more of a teen. So you would like it actually. You like those teen dramas.
I love teen anything.
Yeah.
Cheerleader movies.
And it's werewolves.
Witches,
vampires, werewolves, fairies now are in. I mean, there's all sorts of hybrids that kind of come together. And witches.
She's a witch. She's a witch hybrid werewolf. So she's the main character. I didn't actually when she came onto the show on the originals. I really, I questioned her acting ability, but she actually grew into it a little bit better as the season progressed, and then moved into Legacies. Now she's holding her own. Like it looked like she was early on in starting off acting when she was always like I don't know, like her mannerisms were off, but now she's definitely developed into a good young actress. I don't know if you had a scene with her.
I did.
Yes.
And I think sometimes also you have to kind of just get into your character. You know, like if you watch season 1, episode 1 of Friends, you can tell they weren't friends yet. But by the end,
exactly.
I mean, you almost have. It's like you just need some shows under your belt to really know who you are, and then after that, you know how your character would move, how your character would dress. The lines come really easy because you know what your character would say.
Exactly.
So I think that just comes with time.
Absolutely. You know, I'm a fan of hers. I'm a fan of hers. It's just early on when she came onto the originals, I was just like she wasn't really on screen that often. But but like so she actually made an impression and she got her own show. So that she did something right.
That's right.
So how do you get these bigger roles? Like, is it pretty much your agent, or do you have like a casting board that you find
No, I will tell you, when it comes to episodics and film, the big films like the Lionsgate and the Paramount and the big Fox films, it's from your agent, because they'll have breakdowns that I don't ever even see. So if you're on Actors Access, which every actor I'm sure has an account, there are breakdowns that we can see and we can self-submit. But if it comes to like an episodic show, it's always going to go straight to the agent first, and then I guess as far as I understand, so casting will send out, if they've got one role, let's say it's for a mom, maybe they'll give each agent, say, I want to see your top 4, and who do you have? And then they'll submit pictures, and then from the picture they'll kind of see, I know her, I know of her, I've heard of her, I've worked with her before, I've cast her before, I want to see what she does with this. So then from the submissions, each agent might get 2 auditions, and we'll send it out to who the casting wants to see, and then you just self-submit and go from there.
Yep.
And you never hear back. Nope. Like I have so many people saying, have you heard? Do you hear? Do I call? I'm like, oh gosh, whatever you do, don't call. They'll call you. But you almost have to throw it down and really just forget about it. Yeah. And if you get that call, then it's like winning the jackpot, the lottery, and it's lucky. It's more than luck, but it'll make your day. But you do have to, once you hit submit, just let it go, because it will just
let it go out of your mind. Yeah, just let it pop
you
out
really
of your
do.
mind. Yeah.
Honestly, let it go. And it's easier said than done, because I'll still be like, I wonder if that ever, I don't know what's going on with that. And I'll kind of check on IMDb, see if it got filled. And then when I see my part got filled, I'm like, I can see why they did that. She's amazing, Or
I don't even.
If it's someone that doesn't even look like me, I'm like, well, I can see where they were going with that. I didn't even have a chance. We don't even look the same. But sometimes I'm kind of curious, but if it's something big, most of the time I just let it go and move on to the next one.
But you never say, oh my God, they cast her over me. Like, give me a break.
I know. I always say I get it. I would cast her too.
Yeah, on Actors Access, I literally just submit. I don't even half the time I just read the description, and then I don't even read the title anymore, so I can't look it up later. So I don't even get into it.
That's smart. That is smart.
Because it just depresses you. Like, damn it, I didn't even get a call on that one. Like,
and then you start beating yourself up, and you're like, is it the way I look? Is it my hair? Do I need to do a headshot? And then you start really questioning things that you should never, ever, ever question. Right. If you've got if you have your toolbox, we all know if we've got a good reel, a good representation, you have an agent that's on your team, if you have a great headshot, and you're doing what you're doing, you've got all your stuff. It's all you can do. So that's what I try to tell a lot of people. Don't beat yourself up. If you're not getting auditions, if you're not even getting the audition, that's maybe something to discuss with you and your agent. You can say, you've seen what do you think, in your personal opinion, from all of your actors that are booking, why am I getting overlooked? And she may say, well, you might want to change the hair. You might want to update the headshot. Or she may just say, it's just a numbers game, and let's just keep trying a little bit longer. Yeah. So my biggest, if what I always try to say to people is just keep doing you. Just keep doing you and being the best you that you can be. And if it's meant to be, it'll be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you just have one agent, or do you have agents for different things? Like
okay,
a commercial agent.
I have a couple of agents. I think that when it comes to exclusivity, when you go out to Los Angeles, you just can't get away with that anymore. They're like, look, it's just you and me, and I am your team, right? But here in the Southeast, there's just so much going on. I have a Florida agent because they have also their own clients, and so if I didn't have someone in Florida, I would miss out on all sorts of local stuff, just when it comes to commercials and infomercials, industrials, and even little projects here. You know, Lori Ryman is down in Miami, and a lot of times some agents in Atlanta won't see those breakdowns, and she'll focus just on Florida. Yeah. Sometimes she'll reach out because she's a big casting agent, but I think you would be remiss to say no to anyone local. I think everyone should have a nice local agent. Oh, yeah. And then I have one in Atlanta, and I also have one in Louisiana as well. And the agent that I have in Atlanta also represents me out in Los Angeles. So I've had a couple, you know, whenever they get work out there, they will submit me. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what?
But that's just me.
Yeah, my agent was terrible. Like I worked primarily I lived in Jersey, and my agent was in Philadelphia, and then like I did some stuff in New York, and I had a TV show in Philadelphia, but like I just felt like they were doing it. Like she had so many clients, like it was, and so much bigger people. I'm like I'm not even. So I literally just picked up, moved to Florida, and then I started just doing my own thing and
just your own thing. Yeah. Sometimes that's better.
Yeah.
The one I have in Atlanta is it's a boutique agency. Yeah. So. And that's also something, if you're looking for a new agent, I always say, you know, go on IMDb and look at that agency and look who they represent. And if there are 50 of you, move on.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have their girls that book or their guys. I'm just thinking about for me. But if they have a couple of women that look just like me that book, I am not going to get that audition. They're going to go for the people that work. Yeah. So I want someone that doesn't have a me.
Yeah.
And my look is very common. My age and my hair, so it's a little difficult.
Well, see, I'm from Jersey. Everyone looks like me. Everyone looks like me. I'm from Jersey. So.
I have a look that is common too. I mean, everywhere I go, they're like, "You look just like." I'm like, just give me your list.
Yeah.
What got you into acting? Like, it seems like you started kind of later in life. Like, what were you doing before?
No, I was the kind of girl that. 5 years old, what are you going to be when you grow up? I always said an actor. I'm going to be an actress, always. And I remember in middle school, I moved to a new town, and I went to try out for theater, and I walked in, and they said, what song did you prepare? And I said, I am so sorry. Is this choir? I thought it was theater. And they said, no, it's musical theater, and you need a song. And I sang Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and I didn't get picked. I can't sing, and I never tried out again, and it was deflating. Yeah. Yeah. But it was always in the back of my mind. And so right out of college, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm so old that we used to get our jobs out of the newspaper. And there was a little ad that said on-air talent wanted and a phone number. And I was like, it could be porn or it could be legitimate.
Right. You never know.
Or it could be foot porn. You never know.
Yeah.
And and I have pretty feet. So I was like, okay, I'll give them a call. And it was a host for a shopping network.
Nice.
So it was,
That's literally how I got my hosting show. That's how I literally hosted on radio and on hosting. It was a little newspaper clipping from a local newspaper. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and that's why I say never turn anything. Just try it. Just call it. And if it is weird, then you just hang up the phone. But whatever. So anyway, that's kind of how it started. And from there, I just did live television. And it's hosting, which is, it's sales, basically. It's looking right into the camera and it's pitching a product. But if you don't like it, you better not let anyone know, right? Oh, yeah. So there's a little bit of acting in there. There's some excitement. And then from there, I got an agent and did local commercials and small independent films. And then I moved to Florida and I bought a house, which means a mortgage. And I needed something that was a little more helpful financially. Right. And this is before, back then I still had a bunch of agents as well. My headshot was black and white. I had a pager on my belt because they said, we will not represent you unless you have a pager. We have to get a hold of you. So I mean, that's how long ago this was.
Nice.
And I was always checking my pager, and I'd run to a cell phone when I was driving, or a payphone, and I'd say, why do you need me? So, and then I just, I needed a job, I needed money, and I wanted a family, so I had kids. So I did stop. I stopped for 12, 15 years. I took a big break, and it never really went away. And then my daughter was about 8, and she said, Hannah Montana was big at the time, and she said, I want to be an actress when I grow up, so I better start practicing now. And I started looking for jobs for her, which made the agent say, what are you doing? And I didn't want to take away from her, but I thought maybe I could get back into this. And so slowly, I got back into it. And then within the past, I guess the first television show I booked was Devious Maids, maybe 8 years ago or so. And that's kind of when the ball started getting rolling again.
Right. Oh, yeah. You got to strike with the iron.
So I was later in life. I wasn't 20 and moving to LA. I just had to do it on my own time. But I don't think it's ever too late for anybody if you have that passion.
Nope, never.
Oh gosh, you can be a grandma and start up.
Yeah. It could be your own. It's all in your own timing. All in, like, you're never behind. You're always on time.
I mean, I started making movies at 40.
So true.
It was just a thing that I had always been interested in. And one day I was at work and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to make a movie. Like, I didn't want to be on my deathbed and say, man, I wish I had tried that. So I put a movie together on the way I thought a movie was made. It was completely wrong.
That's okay.
But that's where I met Sean. I had a casting call for my first movie, and all these people showed up. Like, it was amazing how many people came out. And Sean responded to the casting call, and he was like, hey, I just got laid off at Busch Gardens, and I just graduated film school, and, I'm looking for stuff to do. And so he came out and sat with me at the casting, and we just kind of hit it off. And, we had a lot in common, and we made our first movie.
He's great.
And it was just a terrible movie, but that was my film school. Like, that's what
that's okay.
Me, that taught me things, basically not what not to do or what to do. And through the years, I've always surrounded myself with people that know a lot more than I do, and just learn as much as I can from those people. And I don't know, that's how it started. It's fun, and I'm not getting rich at it or anything, but I haven't had anything hit yet. But it's
well, you're doing
there's
it though.
Something in it that keeps me going for some reason. I don't know what it is. And maybe I'm insane. I don't know.
Well, that too, yeah.
But I just enjoy. I just enjoy working with people like you, and creating together, and I don't know what it is, but there's just something about it that I love doing it. And I'd taken 5 years off. My last movie, Seeing Evil, in 2016, we shot that, and I had the most unfun time on set I've ever had. It just wasn't a good time. It was stressful. It just wasn't fun anymore. So I quit, and I stopped for 5 years. I didn't make anything at all. And then Sean asked me, he had something going on, and he asked me if I would shoot it for him, and I said, yeah, sure. So I came out and did it, and then caught the bug again, and now I'm just wanting to do stuff.
And that's when he met me.
And then we met Tony. But we're kind of doing,
it was on that movie.
What we're doing now is we're making exploitative movies, and we're shooting features in 5 days with very little money and putting it out there. And it's not really what I want to be doing, but it's something. And
if it's scratching that itch that you have, then keep it up. And the fact that you took that break, I think, is just sometimes we need a reset. It's like when I took the break, and I needed a job, and I wanted my family. I needed that break was good for me. Right. I would probably be in the same situation I am right now, doing the same. I don't think I'd have a few more credits, but I'm not going to be a Julia Roberts. I mean, I'm just work. You know what I mean? I would still be the same. I would still have my co-star roles, and I would have missed out on things. So I think probably that was a good creative break for you, and now you're getting back, and you're kind of.
It was just I had two I had Crazy Lake, I had Seeing Evil back to back, and those were the two biggest budgets I ever had. I mean, I had like $75,000 on each one.
Oh,
and
that's good.
And they both ended up not great. Like we had I lost her again.
No, she's still there. She just.
Oh, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But Crazy Lake
The
ended up
birthday calls.
Crazy Lake ended up not great. We got an awful distribution deal. Had a falling out with the investors, and just I ended up getting bought out on that movie. And then Seeing Evil was just again, it was just not fun at all. A train wreck. The movie actually came out okay, and you can find it on like Tubi TV and Amazon and stuff like that. But just two not very good experiences back to back on the two biggest budgets I ever had. So I was excited to have this money to put towards the movie, and they just ended up not great. And I just got really discouraged after that, and just like, you know what, I don't even want to do this anymore, and just that was it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even pick up a camera in 5 years. Like I had nothing to do with anything. And that's when Sean kind of got into the exploitation movies and stuff like that. And then he kind of dragged me back into it. And that's basically what we're making now. But, I want to make, I'm a horror guy. I want to make bigger budget, slasher movies and paranormal movies and stuff like that. But like you said, what we're doing now is itching to scratch. And I'm able to shoot it and edit it, which is cool. I'm like in total control of the creative process of it. So I think that's what kind of keeps me coming back, because I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
And you have the time.
Yeah. I have the time.
The abundance of time.
So I'm just not doing anything right now.
So Tanya, do you have a dream role that you always wanted to do? Like you want to do a episodic, long-term,
Oh, well, yeah. I think that you talk to a lot of actors. It's like that's the end goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that
or
would
just
be
a big
it.
movie,
It would be
or a movie series, or as a TV series. What's your dream role if you could pick?
I do have to tell you, as much as I love film, I love television.
Yeah,
I love it. I would love that. I've had a couple of shows where I've booked recurring, so I get to come back 2-3 episodes, and it's just like. I would just love for them, for someone to say, I kind of like that character. Let's keep bringing her back, and then you go series regular. I mean, and I just love, just driving on set, and security is like, hey, Miss Tanya, it's a whole family, and then you get to develop that character. And I've only done it as much as 3 or 4 episodes, but that's just my dream. If I could ever be a part of a TV series and just grow with it and have a show go from 3 to 8 years. I mean, like Grey's Anatomy is on its 20th season, or
crazy, some of these shows, NCIS,
18 years or so. I mean, something crazy. But I hear that some actors, they're like, I need to explore more. I've done this character. I need to move on. And maybe just because I'm older, I don't know. I see that as comforting. I like an on-set family. I love to
and you got to
really just know my character.
Yeah.
So I just love television.
Yeah, well, soap operas too. Like they're on those characters for like ever. Yeah. How long was Susan Lucci? Just fucking 40 years. Like, did she ever do another character? Like, I don't.
I know. She doesn't have to. Those soap. I've worked with a couple of. 3 of my good friends have been on soaps, and they lasted about 2.5 years, and they're like, it's 40 pages. You get your script late at night, call times early in the morning, and you've got about 40 pages to go through. That's why it's just crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's Looney Tune crazy stuff right there. But
because they don't have a break on soap operas, right? It's new episodes.
No, it's just get it done. I had a little episode of Sunset Beach back when I was in my 20s, and it's just fast.
Yeah.
Like nothing I've ever seen before. So that's television.
There's been a huge shift in
overload
over the last 10 years between, it used to be movies. Everybody wanted to be in movies, and now, with Netflix and Amazon, like all these originals, the series now are really becoming more popular than movies now. I think the series, you got your
because you get invested, right?
Yeah, and the thing is like you can really develop, the characters like way more than you can in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Now you got a 10-hour movie where you can really dig into each character and develop them and stuff, and I love it. I think
tell more stories, put them in different scenarios and situations where you actually see how they would react, and the actors flesh out that whole entire character.
And they suck you in too, man. Like, after you watch that first episode, you're like, all right.
And if it's good, you're in.
And then you watch the whole show in 2 days. That's the problem.
You binge watch it, and then you're like, they wait a year to give you another season. Like, come on.
I know.
I don't know.
There's some really great shows. That have been coming out over the last few years, and it's kind of like, I wonder what effect it's having on the movie industry. It just, I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't seem like the movies nowadays are as good as they were, 15, 20 years ago. It just seems like everything's like the same. I can't explain it. Like there's no like deep stories anymore, and everything's superheroes, and it seems like formulaic, I guess, where Adam Sandler plus Drew Barrymore equals this much money, and they just lack story. And I don't know, but that's what I like about the series now is you can really develop it and engage. I don't know. So maybe one day there'll be no more movies. It'll all be series.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a magical thing, isn't it, to go to the movies? It's definitely changed. It's changed. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, the movies. I mean, that's the experience I love. I take my kid to the movies every week, and we hang out and eat lunch, and then go see the movie and just talk about the movie. It's just fun. Last week I had him over. He came over to the house, and I think we watched 7 movies. I've tried to introduce him to the horror classics and stuff that he hasn't seen before, and it's fun. It's fun. We have a good time.
Now, have you with the whole pandemic last year, like, has this year picked up a lot for you? Like, has it been, were you able to like recover from it very quickly compared to let's say the rest of the United States where where the struggle was real? Did it continue over into your industry? Did it was work still calling? Were you still getting work?
Well, last year, 2020 March is when everything stopped, right?
Yeah.
I think it was about then. I was working on the film in Miami, and it was like, we have 2 days left before the world is shutting down. And it went from we're just all on set to the last 2 days, everyone was in masks and gloves. And I was like, this is getting serious. And they said, this needs to get banged out, because if we don't finish it, we're not finishing it. And so we had 2 very long, very, very long days on set. We wrapped that film up. Yeah. And then right after that, it was either right before I auditioned for a film that I just wrapped up this past March. Oh. And they said, well, we're going to shoot it in April. April was moved to August. August was October. And then it came a full year around. So we finally just shot that. That was the Mulligan that I shot in Georgia. But it stopped. I mean, just like everyone else's industry, it stopped for me. I am very, very blessed that I'm a guest host at HSN, and I've got a product. So that kind of kept me very busy in the fall. But other than that, I did some like pandemic commercials for, restaurants that are serving delivery. And, I was able to do some local stuff like that to keep it busy. But I did a lot of voiceovers because that I can just shoot and film, just record and then send those off. But it was slow, it was slow. But now that everything is slowly getting back to normal, only to act weird again. But we're on this tightrope of what's going on. But I'm just trying to stay positive and stay focused. But things have definitely got back to normal, and then they're pulling them back again. Like now, you have to be vaccinated, or you can't even bother auditioning, or this. And actually, you were speaking of legacies. The last time I shot an episode, when was it? I'd have to look it up. Maybe it was last December or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
It was like last December, I think. Whenever I shot it, someone all of a sudden alarms were going off. It was like wah wah wah, and I said, "What is that?" And then the man I was working with goes, "Someone's got COVID," and they said Zone 3. There was COVID in Zone 3, so they shut everything down, disinfect.
It's like the
so things were getting back to normal.
Sounds like Monsters Inc.
It's like what?
Remember Monsters Inc. when they touched and they had to bring the whole crew out and contaminate them and shower them off
and hazmat suits. I mean,
that's what it reminded me of when you said that.
Oh yeah,
COVID in Zone 3.
It was crazy, but and that's how it is. Like on set, you have to wear your masks. As soon as, and I'm like, they'll say we're going to roll cameras in 5, 4, 3, and as soon as then the masks come off, and if you look closely now, you can probably see actors with those tight masks on their faces. But it's changed a lot. But I think everyone wants to get back to work, not just the actors, but absolutely everybody. And so they're doing what they can to get us back working again safely. And I'm just excited. I can just tell by the auditions that are coming, and I actually have one later today that I have to.
Oh, awesome! Well, good luck on that. Good luck on that.
Yeah, thank you. It's it would be again. I'm just going to put it down and forget about it because you never know what's going to happen. But I got it last, and this is also like I got it last night, and it's due tomorrow at 10 a.m. So it's got to be done today, basically 10 a.m. It's not going to get done tomorrow. So that's how fast things are. That's how fast things move.
Oh, yeah.
So you just always have to be on your game, and you always have to be ready, and you just have to be prepared.
Right. Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just want to thank you for joining us this morning on the Killer Collab podcast. Tanya Christiansen, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I was a treat to be invited.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back when Joe's here.
Yeah, absolutely. When Joe's back, we'll get you back on the show, and you guys can, talk it out, and then we'll get back. You were an absolute pleasure today. Absolute pleasure. Their recommendations and their endorsements have all been just and wonderful. Thank you for coming in and talking. It was an absolute pleasure.
I
thank you.
I have Rough Cut on like a private YouTube link. I'm gonna message it to you. Do you like watching yourself?
Oh,
like do you like watching yourself on stuff?
I'm always curious, but it's so I'm a cringy. I'm like, oh, my voice. Oh.
I think everybody.
All that face. I'm just like, to me, it's uncomfortable, but I do it. And that's another real quick thing. Actors, watch yourselves.
Yeah.
Because you may not realize the things that you do.
Right.
Like you can tell I use my hands a lot. Mm-hmm. And during auditions, if I'm doing this, you can't see my face. So I learn a lot from watching myself, but I don't enjoy it. I'm just being honest. Maybe some people do. They like to sit back and just.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that likes that.
I think it's horrible. It actually makes me sweat a little bit. But, it's something that you have to do if you want to grow and get better, right. I think.
But I'll send you the link if you want to watch it. You can.
I do. I'd appreciate that.
So I'll send it over.
Awesome. Like I said, thank you so much for joining us again, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Tanya. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Have a great day, and thank you for reaching out to me.
Have a great happy birthday.
Happy birthday, and good luck.
Thank you.
And good luck on your audition. Have fun. Enjoy.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Okay, bye.
The best.
She is awesome.
Tanya's the best. She's so great. But I don't know, a couple of things we got going on this week. We got the Naked Cannibal Campers comic book signing in Orlando at Epic Comics, 7 to 10 at night. We'll be there with it'll be myself, Bo Leto, Veronica Rain, Kate Phoenix.
I can't make
artists,
it. I work.
The 2 comic book artists, David Sumi and Vincent Atkins, will be there. So if you're in the Orlando area, come on out and you get to meet us. And we're signing comic books, and it's going to be a good time. And the other thing, we just launched the Naked Cannibal Campers 2 Indiegogo fundraiser for the next movie. If you haven't seen the first one, you can purchase both and the comic book on the Indiegogo. We're hoping to shoot that in December. We need to raise $10,000, and we are not making the movie unless we hit the $10,000 mark. So we need your help. The link will be in the
description
in
below.
the description. And I think that's about it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Is that it? Good times. Good times. Make sure you give a check out. Click the link below for the Indiegogo for Naked Cannibal Campers 2, Season of the Bitch. And I don't want to get... We didn't really curse today. Holy shit. There you go.
A couple times.
Did you? I didn't really notice. Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us in the Killer Collab podcast. As always, joined with Chris Lato from Reaper Films, my partner in crime. Joe Davidson will be returning next week with his usual antics and fun. And always, my name is Tony Deck from Florida, Tony D. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Stay happy, stay healthy, and